whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is legal tax defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about legal tax defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-979-3168. 800-931-68. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-979-3168.
Hey, shh, calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? It's only Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. And a lot of things are going on. It's all over the place. Seems as though all of our attention is being directed to the Middle East. That's fine. That's fine. We'll talk about all of that today. If you feel like you're being overwhelmed by that news and it's just coming at you and it's all anyone can talk about, that's fine. We will not bore you, inundate you, and exacerbate that conversation. If you want to talk about it, if you have some concerns, I should say, or if you want to ask the advice of your humble host, you can. Just call 860-522-WTIC. That's 860-522-9842. I tried not to get angry today. Not that I have this issue with it. I don't find myself getting angry. But there are some things that will get me in that point where I don't want to use the term get my back up or anything, but I'm a fight, not flight kind of guy. I've been that way for a long time. It's not an anger management problem. It just isn't. I know it isn't. I know I have it under control, my anger. I don't need to be angry, so I don't. I don't get angry. But I do get a little, teed off. We can't say the big P word on radio, but you know what I mean. I have a tendency to do that. And I find myself, I'll go in the room, I'll maybe go in my bedroom when no one's around. Maybe the wife's not there, she's in the living room or somewhere else. If she is in the bedroom, I'll go into the garage. I'll take a minute. I'll always talk to God. I always say, God, I need you right now. Just calm me down. Give me something to focus on to get me away from my anger, to get me away from being teed off. Get me something. You know what? I'll be grateful. Be grateful. And I find something to be grateful for. In that moment, whatever it is I'm ticked off about, I find something to be grateful about it within it. What am I talking about? What's the thing that's ticking me off right now that gets me at this point where I want to lash out? It's men. All of us. And I take a little bit of responsibility here. I'm not just going to go out here and consider myself the most macho guy in the world, looking down my nose to other men going, get your act together, buddy. I'm not. It's part of this is my fault. Part of this is my fault because I think that I can encourage men to be men more. I talk to some of these guys. They listen to this show. They're in the Facebook comments and the comments online. Men, we're slacking. I don't think that men know how to be men anymore. Sometimes I think men just give up. The one thing that really ticks me off are guys, and the guy did this to me. I don't want to shame him. That's not what I do. It almost seems like bullying. But one guy was on my Facebook post during the show, and he couldn't stop talking about how we need to have women in power and how that's important. Like, just because we put a woman in power, that's going to change things. Now, ladies, don't get mad. This isn't about you. Hear me out. This isn't about you. It's not about shaming you. It's not about saying that you are not capable of being leaders. Sure you are. Of course you're capable of being a leader. That goes without saying. And when that woman steps up and she leads and we can see it and stand by, if not behind, we will. But you don't get to be a leader just because you complain about it. It ain't that easy. It should never be that easy because it's not that easy for men. And, if we're talking equality and all, you should meet the mark. Just saying. But back to men. And right to that point. You see, men know that every day they have to be challenged because they are. Every day they wake up, they go to work. Something drives them crazy, a problem, an issue, a coworker, a boss. But they know that they have to tone it down, be reserved, focus, pray even, get the job done, do what's needed, do what's required. Fulfill your task and come out on the other side a winner. Bumps, bruises, and scrapes, notwithstanding, but come out on the other side victorious. And what's far worse than all of that is no recognition or accolades thereafter. Not because you're looking for them, just because you know you're not going to be rewarded for it. Because it is required and, dare I say, expected of you. And men, some men, wake up every day reveling, wanting, exceeding in their daily lives, knowing that challenge is out that door. Knowing all of those things are going to happen, that they're going to fail, that they're going to get bruised, that they're not going to get any recognition. They do that. Real men do that. Never once are they sitting around patting themselves on the back. They just do what they're supposed to do. By the way, just as an aside, if you ever wonder why I do the whole applause thing, for me personally, to show exactly what that's like, to sort of give myself my own praise because I know no one else is going to do it. Sure, there are people who say nice things about me on the air, but that's my sort of self-gratulation, where I sort of pat myself on the back by playing applause. I give it to you guys too as well. But the bottom line is that men don't think about being men anymore in that way. Now they're tired. They don't want to have to. Now they want to have women carry the burden. Yeah, that's what we need. Maybe it won't be so rough if we let the ladies be in charge. But let me tell you what's really going on. Here's what's really going on. It's not that they believe that women can do the job better, if not the same as men. No. It's not even because they don't want to have to deal with the pressures anymore. No, it's not that. Here's the problem. Men do not want the blame. They're sick and tired of being the blame. And you know what I say to those men? Suck it up. It's always going to be your fault. That's the job. That's the risk we take. We do the things that others won't. We're supposed to do those things. And just because you fail doesn't mean that you're a loser. Just because it doesn't work out as planned doesn't mean that you're incompetent. How are you going to be a success without losing? How can you be a success without making mistakes? We failed at means testing anything. In other words, taking risks, we failed at that. Now we're running away from our responsibilities. And we think it's cute. We think it's really cute when we say something like, actually, some men think that this makes them more of a man. I think that we should let women be in charge. And the women will go, oh, he's so modern. He's so modern and so enlightened. You're a wuss. Have you ever been around a woman? Seriously, come on, guys. Take the woman that you're with right now. Take the woman that you're involved with, engaged to, married to. Your passenger princess. The woman who expects you to buy her things or take her out for coffee. Show that you care. What does she want? She wants you to be in charge. Not in a way, not in that old, ridiculous way. You know, not in a caveman way. I'm not even trying to say that, ladies, because I know you said, what is he saying? You know what I mean. Ladies who have men in their lives, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I made the mistake. I'll tell you this. I made the mistake plenty of times. I've done it with my own wife. That sort of lazy, not wanting to take charge. My wife does this every time. Hey, what should we have for dinner? She'll ask me. And I go, I don't care. And I've done that. What, we've been together 4 years now? I've done that for a good 3.5. Yeah, I don't care, baby. Whatever it is you want to eat, I'll eat too. Took her 3 years to finally be fed up and say to me, do you know why I ask you what you want to eat? Because for once, I'd want you to make a choice. Even if I don't like it, I want you to be in charge. And I thought I was being in charge anywhere and everywhere else in life. But you know what? Something as minuscule, something as minute as making a decision on where we're going to eat, I was failing. Why? Because I didn't want to have to make a decision. And the other part was I didn't want her to say no. Because truth be told, I'd rather go to Jack in the Box. Or perhaps I might go to Jersey Mike's or something like that. I don't want anything. I want something simple. Maybe a hoagie, maybe a burger. I don't want to go to Chick-fil-A. She loves that place. I'm not going to lie. The place is great. I don't always want to go there. So if I were to go where I wanted to go, only reason why I'm not choosing because I don't want to say, no, I'm not interested. When truth be told, yes, I would rather have Little Caesars. I should just say that. But me being so concerned about her saying no, I am not willing to take charge. Till finally I realized, you know what? What's the harm? We'll get what I want to eat, and she'll get what she wants, me to make a decision. That's what we need to do, men. Make decisions. Be able to stand on our own 2 feet and say, this is how we're doing things. And not be so concerned about whether or not certain people are going to get their feelings hurt. When we know there's a direction for our country or for our town or for our community, for our families, we as men should be able to step up. And we should not have to apologize for being leaders. That's the problem that we have today. A failure in leadership. Now being leaders, some people believe that it's a shared responsibility. Well, that's not a leader. That's not leadership. That's what we call a congregation, if you will, of people taking a vote. It's a consensus. Trust me when I tell you, people want to be led. Don't believe me? Let's use a small radical group of people. The people who we saw protesting just this weekend and every other weekend over the past, 6 months. Haven't they been following someone who has told them what to do and what to believe? Haven't they been protesting things they know nothing about and following the orders of their so-called oligarchs, billionaire class, who write up their signs and hand it to them and tell them to go march in the streets? It's crazy how those people are out there talking about how they want this socialized society, this communist society, while they take orders from millionaires and billionaires. Yes, even the most socialist among us need leaders. That is the natural order of things. They don't need kings, but they do need leaders. But leaders who lead them in the right direction, that is beneficial to them, who sees a vision that raises all boats, raises all people. If you are in charge of a family, that's what you need to be, as a leader. Don't shy from it. You don't even need to apologize for it. If you're a good leader and you lead people and your family or whomever it is to prosperity, they will thank you. They will thank you 100%. Because what you do actually reaps benefits, actually reaps reward. If you're a good leader, on the downside, if you're a really good leader, you can admit when you make mistakes and change course and let people know. Take responsibility. That's what leaders do too. Talking to all you politicians out there too, you get it. A lot of you can't take responsibility. But it has nothing to do with whether or not it's a male or a female. It has to do with whether or not you're good enough and capable enough to lead. Men, you don't have to cede ground. Be a leader. If you're asked to, be one. If you can't, step aside. It has nothing to do with gender. It has nothing to do with male or female or whatever the case may be. And when I say that, I mean, just for you progressives out there who doesn't think they're two sexes, leadership is what it is. And if there's a woman who could do it, absolutely. But I don't believe that anybody should take that role just for the sake of her genitalia, or his genitalia for that matter. So men, let's lead. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, your phone calls. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
This is Paige Lopez, founder of Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
And through this process of cooking your food, through eating out at restaurants, through ordering alcoholic beverages, which you can drink with Awaken 180 with our guidance, you're learning these tools, you're educating yourself, and it doesn't even seem like learning, but you'll learn so much about the foods that you're eating and the variety that you can enjoy, that you are arming yourself and ultimately your family with a whole host of information that will enable you to make the right choices, the best choices, the choices that taste good to you long-term so that you can experience that long-term success easily.
Before turning to weight loss medications, first call Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, effective weight loss naturally. Eat to lose weight, then receive free support for life. Changing your life starts when you make your consultation today. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. Maybe even your sex drive is off. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Northeast Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an improved sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you, including our new office in Warwick, Rhode Island.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 2:30, Hartford temperature 69 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A trial of a man accused in the stabbing death of a Fairfield prep student 3 years ago has begun in Milford. Raul Valle was 16 at the time. He's charged in the death of Jimmy McGrath outside a house party in Shelton, where a fire broke out and several people were stabbed in 2022. A person was injured in a shooting in New Haven. Police say the victim sustained a graze wound in the area of Elder Street. This comes as police continue to investigate the fatal shooting of a Stratford teen over the weekend in the Elm City. Hartford Public Library is closed on Main Street today. The officials say a fire broke out in the basement this morning when a transformer blew. No injuries were reported. Heightened concern about the safety of members of Congress in the wake of the Minnesota shootings. Senator Richard Blumenthal says he won't be deterred from traveling to host events and meet with constituents from both sides of the aisle. President Trump keeping the pressure on Iran for a nuclear deal. He cut the G7 summit short in Canada by a day to return to the White House to oversee worsening tensions between Israel and Iran. WTIC News Time, 2:31. Bob Cox with the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Temperatures this afternoon holding in the upper 60s and low 70s with a cloudy sky, a few scattered showers around, and a southeast wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. It remains cloudy tonight with areas of fog and drizzle developing, and still the chance for a few more scattered showers, lows 60 to 65. A couple of showers still possible into Wednesday, especially in the morning. There may be a little bit of sun that tries to mix in by tomorrow afternoon. It'd be more humid, the dew point rising up towards 70 and warm with a high around 80 degrees. Muggy Wednesday night with the chance for a shower or thunderstorm. Some areas of fog, lows in the mid to upper 60s. And then a mix of sun and clouds Thursday, hot and humid conditions. Highs in the low 90s. The dew point still up around 70, so the heat index gets into the upper 90s Thursday. And there is the threat for some thunderstorms in the afternoon or evening. Then a cold front goes through Thursday night. It'll be dry and less humid Friday and Saturday. Mostly sunny Friday, high 80 to 85. And a mix of sun and clouds Saturday with highs in the low to mid 80s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Markets continue their downward trend. The Dow is off 322 points. NASDAQ's down 179, and the S&P is down 50 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Attention Southern New England HVAC and mechanical contractors. Eagle Rivet is your trusted roofing partner for professional roof penetrations and flashing. We ensure your customers' roofs remain watertight during installations, protecting their warranties. We also offer complimentary roof inspections to identify potential issues before any HVAC work begins. Call Eagle Rivet today at 860-953-1231 or visit us online at eaglerivet.com. That's EAGLERIVET.com. Eagle Rivet is proud to support Rebuilding Together Hartford.
If you've been injured in an accident, don't let the insurance company decide how much you're worth. At Carter Mario Law Firm, you're more than just a client and more than just a quick settlement. When you get Carter, we'll help you get more. More experience, more attention, and more accessibility. The Carter Mario Law Firm's zero-fee warranty means you pay nothing unless we win. Visit getcarter.com or call 877-GET-CARTER.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text TEAR to 369369. That's TEAR to 369369. TEAR to 369369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This health fact brought to you by ProHealth Physicians.
Medical needs can arise unexpectedly. That's why having a trusted primary care provider, or PCP, is so important. Hi, I'm Dr. Monique Martin, a family doctor at ProHealth Physicians in Vernon. For life-threatening conditions, always call 911 or go to the ER right away. But if it's not an emergency, call your doctor's office first. Sometimes it's hard to decide when to seek care. At ProHealth, you can book appointments online or call us anytime, any day. Even after hours, we have nurses here to help guide you. Each day, our PCPs set aside times for urgent visits, and our Express Care team offers in-person and virtual appointments for our patients with common illnesses and injuries. Get the care you need when you need it. Start with ProHealth today.
Connect with the trusted local doctor you just heard from ProHealth Physicians. Call 1-855-CTMD-411 to schedule your first visit with them today. Or visit ProHealthMD.com to learn more about their care, expertise, and services.
Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Actual price to purchase. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, clinical study information, and restrictions, visit forhers.com.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss medications, but too few can access or afford them. Hers is changing that by offering access to Wegovy GLP-1 treatment through their platform. 50% off retail price. Wegovy is FDA approved for weight loss and can help you lose up to 20% of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. All dosages of Wegovy are offered at the same price and are eligible for FSA and HSA reimbursement. At forhers.com/radio, treatments are prescribed 100% online. A medical provider on their platform will determine if a weight loss plan is right for you, and if prescribed, your plan ships free directly to your door. By getting access to Wegovy through Hers, you get so much more than just medication. You'll get ongoing support along your weight loss journey. See if Wegovy is right for you at forhers.com/radio. That's forhers.com/radio. FORHERS.com/radio.
Hey, it's Steve Parker giving a salute to the broadcaster at 100. Happy birthday, WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, now we're back, Reese on the radio on WTIC. Let's get to the phones. I was anticipating at least a little bit of conversation about this subject. I just call it the neutering of men in America. And I said, look, bottom line is, I don't understand the reasoning. I listen to these people. In fact, people who come from very patriarchal communities and regions seem to come to America and just soften up. And I'm not exactly sure why. I just don't, because I understand that there's an atmosphere to diminish men. And I've been one of these guys who's talked about it for, maybe even 30 years. I remember talking about this as a teenager, so it could be 40. That this constant demeaning of men, now men have decided to acquiesce because they just don't want to be pummeled anymore. And I'm like, that's your job, man. You got to get pummeled. That's what this is about. People coming at you, taking shots. You know, that's how you test your mettle on a regular basis. Let's go to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Karen is in Southington. Hello, Karen. How are you?
Very good. You have a really quick fix to your dilemma with the dinner and your wife. You have to do what we did.
Okay.
We have an octagon-shaped dice. It's got tacos, Italian, burgers, Chinese. When we get in that dilemma, we take that out of the box, we roll the dice, and we go with what it says. So that's your fix for not knowing how to respond or how to react or what to do in a situation where you both don't know what you're going to have for dinner.
Hold on, Karen, real quick, because that's a great idea. Now
we have one.
Okay,
Yeah,
I know that's what I was about to ask. So you've done this before. Has there been
many times.
Okay, has there ever been a situation where you roll the die and whatever comes up you're not happy with, where you'll go like 2 out of 3, like something like that? Or do you have to take whatever shows up?
You have to take whatever shows up.
Okay.
If you're both indecisive, you have to take whatever shows up, unless you both don't like it, but that's not one of the options. It's usually something that's very much doable. Pizza, Chinese, tacos, Italian, burgers. They're all doable options. So that's what you do. You just roll the dice.
So I can get numbered die, and then what I'll do is I'll create a list that each number represents, right? I'll make a list of what every number represents. So 1 can be Chinese, 2 can be Mexican, 3 can be burgers. I just create that list, and then we roll the dice, and that's it.
Just go on Amazon. You'll find the dice.
Really?
For an octagon shape. I have the octagon shaped dice that has it all on there. You don't have to create your own key.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. You know what? You
That's
just,
what you have to do.
Karen, I don't know how you do it, but every time you call up, you solve my problem. You do it every time.
Yeah, well, and if you can't find it, you let me know. I'll take a picture and send it to you.
You got it.
But they have it.
Karen, you just literally saved the day. I appreciate that. Checks in the mail.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, let's go to Simsbury Joe. What's going on, buddy?
So this is a topic that I know I can get myself in a lot of trouble with, so I'm going to try my best not to. I absolutely understand what you're saying, and I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay.
I'm going to take it in a slightly different direction.
Sure.
I think so. So this whole topic of leadership, men versus women, men and women. I think we have a much bigger problem in this country. And I wish I could say the problem started at this particular moment in time, but every time I think I have that moment in time, I always end up having to move it even further back.
Yeah.
I think the problem we have in this country, and it affects both men and women, and until we solve it, we're going to continue to really shoot ourselves in the foot, is people don't know what leadership is.
Good
point.
People
think that, and I'll use Chris Murphy as an example, and I'm not using him just because he's on the other side of the political aisle. I'm using him because the man is a constant liar. And someone out there is saying, well, Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump lies as well. But Chris Murphy has never been in the private sector.
Yep.
Donald Trump, from everything I know, because I know someone who works for the Trump organization, leadership in that organization is outstanding, even without him right now at the helm. And you can't be a leader unless you have a level of integrity. And when you're someone like Chris Murphy and you're talking to people and you're people who are looking to you for leadership and you're lying to them so much, you're making them feel like a child. And there are people, not just in the state of Connecticut, but all over, where they can't tell the difference between, why is this guy lying to me or this woman lying to me? Why are they making me feel like a child? Why do they make me feel like I don't matter? Because what a true leader does is they inspire you to do something because you get excited about it because you know what the truth is.
Indeed.
And that's why, hopefully I explained it well, but that's why I think that there's so many situations out there. I just happened to pick the Chris Murphy one, that as long as people can't determine what leadership actually is, we're never going to get the best leaders for our for our country, for our state.
Can
It's
I
just not
piggyback?
going to happen.
Can I piggyback off what you just said using Chris Murphy? And I'm going to get into him in the next hour because he's got this audio that he put out recently about the shootings in Minnesota. But I want to piggyback off your Chris Murphy thing and not use Chris Murphy, but I want to use an analogy. We were talking yesterday about the debate between LeBron and Michael Jordan. And both of those men on their respective teams, even though LeBron had a few others, but those men were considered leaders within their times in their ranks, right? What we knew about Michael Jordan was that he turned other people on his team into a threat in the game. LeBron, in the beginning, had Kyrie Irving, who turned into his own leader, as it were, right? Kyrie Irving, was probably somebody you can, Scottie Pippen for Jordan. But the one thing we can say about leaders, whether or not we believe Michael Jordan is a better leader than LeBron, remains to be seen. That debate will go on forever. Yet we do know that both of these men inspired others to be leaders on their own. Dennis Rodman, in the Jordan camp. If you look at a guy like Chris Murphy, hey, you can even say about Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer is a leader that brought us names like Hakeem Jeffries. Nancy Pelosi gave us people like Hakeem Jeffries. These are leaders, whether you like them or not, actually spawned other people to be leaders in their own right. Chris Murphy, a guy who's everywhere, has no one who is considered a spawn of his. And I say that respectfully, not say a spawn in a pejorative, but he has no one that says, hey, that's the guy Chris Murphy lifted from the ranks. You know what I mean?
Yes. So can I go back to the Jordan LeBron thing?
Sure.
I didn't get a chance to pipe in on that.
Yeah.
I respect LeBron for what he has accomplished in the game. I do not look at LeBron as a leader. Okay. And LeBron had a chance to become one of the greatest sports leaders, societal leaders, maybe in my lifetime. When he buckled under to the CCP, that is, to me, unforgivable. Michael Jordan never did that. LeBron buckled under to them, and then, as a dad, I don't think I would do what he did with his son. And darn well, his son did not belong in the NBA. Yeah. Maybe someday he might gain some of the skills, but how many people never got that opportunity? And that LeBron used his influence to do that. That's not leadership. That's nepotism.
Right? Yeah, completely different deal. Exactly.
So I think it's just another example of people will have different definitions of leadership, but you've got to figure out what is the kind of thing that brings the most people along.
Yep.
Because they want to come along with you, and you're not misleading them in the process.
Correct.
To come along with you. And that's where Donald Trump got elected, other than the fact that he was running against someone who is an alcoholic and is a moron. His whole thing was people wanted to be part of that.
Indeed. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. An alcoholic. I have to say allegedly in your defense. Okay.
You're gonna have to prove otherwise.
I appreciate you, Joe. Thank you, man. Let me get to Tim in Broadbrook before we take a recess. Hello, Tim. How are you?
I am okay, man. It's these isolated storms that we're having today have just wiped my day of workout.
Yeah.
So,
that's a pain.
I'm sitting home wondering I should have been a weatherman or something. I could have done a better job. But, here's the thing. You talk about LeBron, you talk about Chris Murphy. These are people who were predestined to be where they are. Dick Blumenthal. Mm-hmm. They were put in that position. They didn't earn the position. So is it any wonder I mean, LeBron had his day, but he's washed up. He's not even a good player anymore. And you know, behind the scenes, he's manipulating situations to try and make himself look better by, you know, filling the roster with all other superstars. So that
These dudes is crazy. They out of their minds.
this is not the Democratic narrative. That's how they do things. They don't care whether you're qualified. They prop you up. They do the most despicable things. So, you know, just to, you know, shine a light on their whatever.
Yeah, well,
and Chris Murphy.
I'm going to point that.
He doesn't even live in Connecticut anymore. You know what I mean?
I know.
He's walking. He comes back to walk in Fairfield County. Come on, who cares where you're walking, Chris?
I'm going to point out a little bit of his nonsense in the next hour, so stick around for that. But you're 100% right.
Before you go, I just want to say that Ken Nelson should replace Chris Murphy. Ken Nelson is the mayor of Enfield. Great guy, true leader, up against the odds over there because it's mostly Democrats over there. And that guy should run against Chris Murphy. And we should all contribute to the Ken Nelson fund for Senate just to displace Chris Murphy. And we'll see what a real leader is.
You got it. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate you. Craig in the car says 4 topics that will make me want to hit mute. Diddy, and it's with 2 Ds, Craig. Karen Reed, whom I've not mentioned, The View, haven't mentioned, and basketball. We're talking about leadership, Craig. Welcome to the program. We'll take a break. More news, more views, your phone calls when we return. It's Reese On The Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Brian Shackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, a huge focus for everybody is health. More and more people are looking beyond pills and steroids and surgery. They want natural solutions to their problems. Well, if you have joint pain and you want a natural solution and lasting joint pain relief, you might want to try the natural treatments that harness your body's own healing power at QC Kinetics. No surgery, no downtime, no drugs. These cellular level treatments revitalize and restore damaged joint tissue. And the thing about it is the consultation is totally free. You go in there, you find out if it's right for you, and then make a decision. And if you want to go this route, whether it's hips, knees, shoulders, or back, it could change your life. Okay, give them a call. The consultation's free. 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. And the chances are they're located near you. They have offices in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. So give QC Kinetics a call. Set up that appointment. Stop just dealing with the pain. Do something about it. 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Are you having trouble hearing? It can devastate
Yes,
the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audien Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000.
It's the best.
What happened?
Whenever you start going off about when people are talking about LeBron, I love it.
They don't have any idea or any clue what they're talking about.
So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
Stand by, and we have got the winner between rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe contest. to win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. We'll have that name for you in a little bit. Also, if you wish to, if you participate in the contest, go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. And you could fill out the form there with all of your information. You must live in the state of Connecticut, and you cannot have won within the last 6 months. So you have to go in every 6 months if you've already won. Yeah, I'm going to send that to you, Roland. I literally have it in front of me. I'll send it to you right now as soon as I get it. Anyway, well, as soon as I post it, I will put that up for you. Let's go to my other good friend here. Yeah, Craig in the car in there crapping on basketball. I know basketball could be boring. Don't get me wrong. I know the deal. That's why I try to make it interesting. But let's go to my good friend Matt in Bristol. Hello, Matt.
Hello, Mr. Hopkins.
What's up?
Let me defend the last caller with the Diddy thing.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand that most of us are working or driving. So we hit the little microphone on the text button.
Yeah.
And it just spells it the way it wants to spell it.
Oh, does it
and,
really? So you're spelling Diddy with a T? Just I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like half the time when I read back my text, I'm like, oh my God, Reese must think I'm a moron.
Well, no, I thought that's what he wrote, and I just went, Diddy? I don't think it's spelled like that. But okay, if you're talking into your phone, yeah, that's probably the way it's coming out. But anyway, what was
it does all sorts of goofy stuff.
What was your call about?
My call was about women and men.
Yes.
So the simple fact is men are just going to be the man that women want in that particular time.
Okay.
So if women want a strong man, men are going to be strong. If women want a sheltered little weak man, and well, if that's what gets women, that's what men are going to become.
Okay, so you are of the belief, and I had this conversation with my wife. You are of the belief that men usually behave based upon the temperature, and I'm using that term loosely, of women of the day. So if women are looking for, like if that's the zeitgeist amongst women, they're looking for a sensitive guy, men will become more sensitive, right? They'll sort of portray themselves as these sensitive, flower sniffing, botanical garden visiting kind of guys. Is that what you're saying to me?
Yep. If it was the 60s, they wanted a hippie. If it was the 90s, they wanted a manly man. And if it's today, they want, I don't know what exactly they want, but that's what men will become because the only thing men care about is getting women.
So I have to show this to you, or read it to you, I should say. I looked this up, and this is weird because I just wanted to know what the consensus was. So I looked up, I looked this question up. I said, who are the 10 most popular men? And some of these names I've never heard of. Some of them, of course, you may have. So let me read the ones you would know, because the other guys, I don't know who they are. So Chris Hemsworth, the guy who plays Thor in the Marvel movies. Henry Cavill, Superman. Okay. Timothy Chalamet, the one who played Bob Dylan in the recent movie. Ryan Gosling, who was in Drive and also, I guess, the Fall Guy movie. Chris Evans, who played Captain America.
Yeah, makes sense.
Pedro Pascal was another one. Of course, he's the guy who's playing Reed Richards in the new Fantastic Four movie.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
the young kid?
No. Pedro Pascal, who's playing the patriarch, the dad of the Fantastic Four, the leader of the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Elon Musk rounds out number 10. Now that again is the most popular men, 10 most popular. So then I said, who are the 10 most masculine men? Chris Hemsworth and Henry Cavill ended up on the list again. Then it went Dwayne Rock Johnson, Jason Momoa, Idris Elba, Ryan Reynolds, Keanu Reeves, Chris Evans, John Cena, and Tom Hardy. Those are the men who showed up on the most masculine men.
But that's more about the roles they're playing, not the actual man.
No, this is perceived by audiences as masculinity. So,
Go ahead. No, what I'm saying is it's because of the roles they're playing that they're perceived as masculine, not
That's
because
fair.
of their actual personality.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would obviously say that because I'm looking at it as sort of based upon using the zeitgeist of what women consider popular, masculine, or manly. When I looked up manly men, it was also the same list of guys. 10 most manly men: Chris Hemsworth, Dwayne Rock Johnson, Henry Cavill, Jason Momoa, Idris Elba, Keanu Reeves, Tom Hardy, Chris Evans, Ryan Reynolds, and then somebody weird popped up. Cillian Murphy from the TV show Peaky Blinders, who played Oppenheimer. Now, he's nothing like the other guys on the list, but he is considered manly, which I thought was weird.
Cross-reference that list with the list of girls the guys they most like to date. And then that would be interesting to cross-reference those lists with the girl with who they want to be with.
Well, I got to go to the top of the hour news with John Silva, but it's a good point. I'll look that up during the break. But thank you, Matt. I appreciate you. Let's get to some news with John Silva. We'll be back after this. It's Reese on the Radio.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. President Trump says he wants a real end to Iran's nuclear program. He is back in D.C. meeting with National Security Council team members. He posted on social media that all people should leave Tehran as Israel continues its campaign. Here's Ed O'Keefe at the White House.
We know he is meeting here to try to get a better sense of the situation from Washington. There are questions about whether the U.S. military will get involved. So far, he has signaled that is not the plan.
Contributor Robert Berger is in Jerusalem.
People would like to see the United States bomb the nuclear facility known as Fordo. That's deep underground, and the Israelis really don't have the capability to hit it.
The UN says Israel's campaign has affected underground operations of an Iranian facility for uranium enrichment. Well, the doors are closed at Hartford Public Library today. Officials say smoke was reported in the basement of the Main Street facility around 9:30. There was a heavy smoke condition there, they say, later determined to be a transformer belonging to the city of Hartford that had blown. No injuries were reported. First officer to respond to the Shelton home where several teens were stabbed in 2022 calls the scene pandemonium after two groups of kids at a large party had a violent fight. One of those teens was killed was Fairfield Prep student Jimmy McGrath. This morning, the murder trial of St. Joe's high school student Raul Valle got underway in Milford. Shelton police officer Lonnie Blackwell arrived before EMS. He treated 3 victims who survived before he came across McGrath.
Identified the 4th victim. I immediately recognized that he was blue in the face, which was indicating to me that he probably had lost a large amount of blood. And I did locate a wound to his chest area right near the heart and did see a lot of blood coming from that wound.
Now, Blackwell and others tried to stop the bleeding. McGrath was later pronounced dead at an area hospital. Blackwell and officers later conducted interviews and identified a suspect vehicle which had fled the scene. Prosecutors say the evidence led them to Valle for the stabbings. He was 16 at the time, but he's being tried as an adult in this case. He rejected a plea deal, and the trial is expected to go on for about 2 weeks. More deadly attacks on Ukraine from Russia, as we hear from correspondent Steve Kathan.
In Ukraine, a Russian missile and drone bombardment has killed at least 15 people and injured more than 150 others. The worst of it, a 9-story apartment building in Kyiv was hit. It's the deadliest attack on the Ukrainian capital this year. President Zelensky called for more help from Ukraine's allies.
And the Minnesota lawmakers' shootings have reached well beyond that state.
CBS News has learned the House Sergeant at Arms will meet with members of Congress today to talk about security precautions because of the murders in Minnesota. And one longtime federal law enforcement official used the word staggering to describe the level of threats against elected leaders.
That's correspondent Scott McFarland. WTIC News Time is 3:04 from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network. A couple of issues out here on the roads this Tuesday afternoon. In Windsor, there is a 3-vehicle crash reported 91 northbound between exits 38 and 39. That looks like it's got the center lane blocked. And over in Torrington, Route 202, that's closed at Elsie Street and the Route 8 on-ramp due to a structure fire. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
For the rest of our Tuesday afternoon, lots of clouds with a shower in spots, the high of 71. Cloudy, mild, and humid tonight with a couple of showers, the low down to 64. Wednesday, more clouds than sun. It'll be warmer and humid with a thunderstorm in parts of the area, the high up to 79. Thursday, warmer still with a mix of clouds and sun. A hot and humid day, breezy with a gusty thunderstorm in the afternoon that could produce hail and damaging winds. A high up to 91 on Thursday. Now, thunderstorm in spots early Thursday evening, otherwise turning out clear, then not as hot on Friday with a mix of sun and clouds. A thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon still, but the high up to 86 on Friday. Saturday, mostly cloudy, very warm again, the high moving up to 88, then partly sunny and hot on Sunday, the high up to 94. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
On Wall Street, the Dow down 342 points this afternoon. The Nasdaq's off 182, and the S&P is down 52 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
How did you get your tripping breakers fixed so fast?
AL Home Services, same-day electrical. I gave them a call, and they had a technician on their way. They even sent the technician's real-time location, so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day electrical, call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO, call for details. Licensed for safety. P102776688, D104014665, E1185643, S3308699, HIC 628926, SM3004646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott understands that divorce can be intimidating, and the decisions you make today will impact your life forever. Divorce is complicated. There's a lot at stake when considering your future. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team of family attorneys have over 100 years of combined experience and understand every family law case is different. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer, you get a full-service law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Katie Bissonette is responsible for the content of this ad.
This is Paige Lopez, founder of Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
And through this
cooking your food, through eating out at restaurants, through ordering alcoholic beverages, which you can drink with Awaken 180 with our guidance. You're learning these tools, you're educating yourself, and it doesn't even seem like learning, but you'll learn so much about the foods that you're eating and the variety that you can enjoy, that you are arming yourself and ultimately your family with a whole host of information that will enable you to make the right choices, the best choices, the choices that taste good to you long term, so that you can experience that long-term success easily.
Before turning to weight loss medications, first call Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, effective weight loss naturally. Eat to lose weight, then receive free support for life. Changing your life starts when you make your consultation today. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
We got plenty of news and plenty of views to get into today. Stupidest thing I read today actually had to be changed a moment ago after I heard word about a scandal at the White House. It's a scandal at the White House. And boy, am I going to blow this one up. This one's fantastic. It's just it's such a stupid story. And the privilege is just astounding. It's just astounding. I don't even have to wait anymore for some of this nonsense, but you know, it's where we are. Anyway, wonderful show we have planned for you today. I'll talk about Chris Murphy in a bit. Apparently, he is talking about the violence, the MAGA violence. And he's got to go back 5 years in order to make a reference to the violence we saw in Minnesota. But we'll get into that. Now it's time for some news. All right, headlines today. Former President Barack Obama is coming to Connecticut today to speak at the Connecticut Forum. The event is called An Evening with President Barack Obama. Well, it's better than 4 years with him. It's part of a partnership with the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving. Obama is anticipated to speak at the Bushnell Performing Arts Center at 7:30 today. Also, speaking of presidents not invited somewhere, it looks like President Donald Trump will not be invited to address the NAACP's National Convention next month in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the first time the civil rights organization has excluded a sitting president in its 116-year history. Should Donald Trump care? Absolutely not. I believe that he should only visit with organizations that have relevance. The NAACP hasn't had any relevance since the and I would just say the inauguration of Barack Hussein Obama. They haven't done anything for African Americans or for, as they put it, colored people in quite some time, other than support policies that align with Democrats, liberals, and progressives. For a group that is interested in the advancement of colored people, do not seem to support things like school choice, vouchers, or anything that gets young African-American people, colored folks, out of the doldrums of horrible and failed schools. Dr. Salvatore Palcencia, I think that's his name, he agreed to plead guilty to 4 counts of distribution of ketamine to Friends actor Matthew Perry, according to a signed document filed in the federal court in Los Angeles. In exchange for his plea, prosecutors agreed to drop 3 additional counts of distribution of ketamine and 2 counts of falsifying records. By the way, I don't want anybody to, self-indict, but can someone explain? I'm not a drug guy. I don't know much about them. My naivete, I believe, is detrimental to myself. What I mean by that is not because I think I need to know about drugs so I know which ones to use. I just want to know about them or understand them. Ketamine is one of those drugs I don't understand why people use it and what usage it is. I get marijuana, I get cocaine, I get alcohol. I really don't get heroin. I don't understand its utility. So if someone knows something about why ketamine, or as the kids call it, was it Special K, what its utility is, if you could give me a call, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. In some other bizarre news, Senator Bernie Sanders has made an unprecedented endorsement of New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani. And this is the radical candidate for New York City mayor who wishes to defund the police. To make matters worse, he is also endorsed by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And I think that's all you need to know about these 2 individuals who many believe are going to be presidential candidates in 2028. If not Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is polling in the high 10. Sorry about that. She is. So I'm sorry. She's polling at 10%. I'm saying the high 10 because Kamala Harris is right behind her with 9. That's not my fault. I'm sorry. I'm just reading it. It's the copy that's in front of me. By the way, I wrote the copy, so you can't blame anybody but me. But yes, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is endorsing Zohran Mamdani, who is a anti-police, anti-Israel bigot. And Bernie Sanders, a Jew, is endorsing him as well. And what I believe is an astonishing turn of events that has not been talked about. It appears that Juneteenth celebrations are going to be scrapped in a lot of places in and around the country because of its loss of corporate sponsors. It appears that so many companies have now decided that they don't want to be associated with DEI, CRT, and this anti-racism movement that corporate sponsors have decided to cut their losses and not endorse Juneteenth celebrations across the country, which is sad because I was just getting used to it. In fact, I was getting used to Juneteenth more than I got. I mean, Kwanzaa's been around forever, and Juneteenth just seemed, I don't know, much more interesting. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm absolutely elated. These fake holidays need to go. I mean, is it a holiday? I mean, can it be celebrated as such? It seems ridiculous. And so, yeah, so those are your headlines. Oh, and I forget, there's one more headline. How did I forget this? The controller of New York City has been arrested for impeding an arrest by ICE in New York City. He had jumped in front of the of ICE. His name is Brad Lander. He's the New York City controller and also running for mayor. Some radicals up there.